Once upon a time, there was a widow who had 2 daughters. The elder was so much like her, both in looks and in character, that whoever saw the daughter saw the mother. They were both so disagreeable and so proud that there was no living with them. The younger, who was the very picture of her father, for sweetness of temper and virtue, was considered one of the most beautiful girls ever seen. As people naturally love their own likeness, the mother doted on the elder daughter, and at the same time had a great aversion for the younger. She made her eat in the kitchen and work continually. Among other things, this unfortunate child had to go twice a day to draw water more than 1.5 miles away from the house, and bring home a pitcher full of it. One day, she was at the fountain. There she came upon an old, poor woman who had begged her for a drink.
"Oh, yes, with all my heart, goody,"
said this pretty girl. Rinsing the pitcher at once, she took some of the clearest water from the fountain and gave it to her, holding up the pitcher all the while, so that it was easier for her to drink. The good woman, having drunk, then said to her, "You are so pretty, so good and courteous, that I cannot help giving you a gift." For this was a fairy, who had taken the form of a poor country woman, to see how far the civility and good manners of this pretty girl would go. "I will give you a gift," continued the fairy, "that at every word you speak, there shall come out of your mouth either a flower or a jewel." When this pretty girl returned, her mother scolded her for staying so long at the fountain.
"I beg your pardon, Mamma,"
said the poor girl,
"for not making more haste."
And in speaking these words, there came out of her mouth 2 roses, 2 pearls, and 2 large diamonds. "What is it I see there?" said the mother, quite astonished. "I think pearls and diamonds come out of the girl's mouth. How did this happen, my child?" This was the first time she had ever called her my child. The girl told her frankly all the matter, not without dropping a great number of diamonds. "Truly," cried the mother, "I must send my own dear child over there. Fanny, look at what comes out of your sister's mouth when she speaks. Would you not be glad, my dear, to have the same gift? You have only to go to draw water out of the fountain, and when a poor old woman asks you to let her drink, give it to her civilly."
"I should like to see myself going to the fountain to draw water,"
said this ill-bred minx. "I insist you shall go," said the mother, "and that instantly." She went, but grumbled all the way, taking with her the best silver tankard in the house. No sooner had she arrived at the fountain that she saw coming out of the wood a magnificently dressed lady, who came over to her and asked her for a drink. This was the same fairy who had appeared to her sister, but she had now taken the air and dress of a princess, to see how far the girl's rudeness would go.
"Am I come hither,"
said the proud, ill-bred girl,
"to serve you with water, pray?"
"I suppose this silver tankard was brought purely for your ladyship, was it? However,
You may drink out of it, if you have a fancy."
"You are scarcely polite," answered the fairy without anger. "Well then, since you're so disobliging, I give you a gift, that at every word you speak, there shall come out of your mouth a snake or a toad." So soon her mother saw her coming and cried out, "Well, daughter?"
"Well, mother,"
answered the unhappy girl, throwing out of her mouth a viper and a toad.
"Oh, mercy!" cried her mother. "What is this I see? It is her sister who has caused all of this, but she shall pay for it."
And immediately she ran to beat her. The poor girl fled away from her mother and went to hide herself in the forest nearby. The king's son, who was returning from a chase, met her, and seeing her so beautiful, asked her what she did there alone and why she cried.
"Alas, sir, my mother has turned me out of doors."
The king's son, who saw 5 or 6 pearls and as many diamonds come out of her mouth, desired her to tell him just how that happened. She told him the whole story. The king's son fell in love with her, and, considering that such a gift was worth more than any marriage portion another bride could bring, conducted her to the palace of the king, his father, and there married her. As for her sister, the girl made herself so much hated that her own mother turned her out of doors. The miserable girl, after wandering around, finding no one to take her in, went to the corner of the wood, and there she died.